Hey guys, I am Nikita Austen. I'm the Director of Education and Innovation Specialist for the Better Being Company, and we own many brands like Solaray, Cal, LifeFlow, Heritage, and I'm here at Fruitful Yield to teach you guys about some of my favorite products.
Hi everyone, I'm back here with Nikita from Solaray, and I have to share something that I just learned today. Did you know that your body is more bacteria cells than human cells? Amazing. What does that mean, Nikita? Tell us what that means.
That literally means that our body is more bacteria than anything else. So I know that sounds weird. It sounds kind of creepy, but your body is literally bacteria. It's in your nose, it's in your eyes, it's in your ears, it's in your gut. You are more bacteria than anything else in your body. So if you think about that, what does that mean? Well, if my body's primarily made out of bacteria, I should probably make sure that bacteria is healthy. I should be replenishing that bacteria daily. I should keep that bacteria balanced. And that's why we're going to segment into probiotics.
So why do people want to take probiotics? Like what is it helping us for the body? How does it help the body?
So when you think about the word probiotic, it actually means for life. Okay? And probiotics are living. They're live cultures. They're good bacteria ultimately. And so we want to take this because, like we said, our body is primarily bacteria. So we need to constantly replenish that bacteria. And in fact, when we think about our gut, otherwise known as our second brain, okay, because our gut is so responsible for our immune system, it's responsible for our mood, it's responsible for skin health. There's so much that our gut is responsible for. When we take a probiotic, ultimately, we want that to get to our gut, to feed our gut microflora, our gut microbiome or bacteria, to keep our body in line so that we can produce those different neurotransmitters and serotonin and things to really keep our body healthy and happy.
Right. And then, of course, it helps with digestion.
Yes.
And
oh,
and
absolutely.
Things like that.
Of course, that's like the most common one. I just went over my head there. I'm like, oh, let's talk about neurotransmitters.
Right.
No, you're absolutely right. When people think probiotics, I think the first things they think of is digestion, regularity, our immune system. Those three are basically standard when it comes to them. And no matter which probiotic you're taking, you're going to get those benefits.
Right.
But then different ones, like whether it's the men's formula or the women's or the colon, they're going to have different strains that are going to support that specific need a little bit more. But absolutely digestion, absolutely regularity. So a lot of people that don't have good regularity or are stuck and constipated, probiotics are a really good option to kind of help with that.
And so tell us, because some people they're concerned about delivery. Like, is it going to get to where I need it to go?
Yeah.
So what does Solaray do to address that?
Okay, that's a good question because you can also get probiotics in a lot of foods that you consume.
Sure.
One of the biggest sellers I think at Fruitful Yield is probably kombucha. We sell a lot of kombucha.
Love their kombucha.
So kombucha is a great option. We think of kimchi. We think of different yogurts. So there's always great ways to get food and to get probiotics, I should say, in food into the body. But when you're taking a capsule, it's a little bit of a different ball game. It's not kind of being broken down along the way, right? You have your body, you have your stomach, and then you have your intestines. And so when you're taking a capsuled probiotic, you want to make sure that it actually gets past the stomach acid and not actually get, die in the stomach, but get to the intestine. And so based on that, the delivery format that we would use is called the enteric shield. Okay. I'll start with the word enteric. Okay, because that's kind of a standard word. So you could see even fish oils that have enteric on them, maybe garlic. There's a lot of different things. But what enteric ultimately means is that we're going to guarantee that that capsule stays fully intact for a minimum of 60 minutes. Because when you consume a capsule, for it to actually reach the intestines, it needs to stay together for 60 minutes. So right there off the bat, you'll see enteric. It's going to guarantee it to get to the intestine. But then you have the shield. Okay, and the shield obviously is that protection. That's Solaray's trademark word. And what we do is we take a pine sap and a pine fiber. We mix those together, and that capsule then is what's going to be completely resistant to the acid in the stomach. But then when it gets to the intestine, that pH level changes, that capsule can disintegrate and open, and then the probiotics will actually cultivate and make their ways through the colon. So this delivery format will guarantee that it's getting to the intestine and not just dying when it hits the stomach acid.
Awesome. So, and now that we know that you have the absorption and delivery covered, so you have the different formulas, weight formula, women's colon. Tell us a little quick snippet on these.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, you're going to get the digestion, you're going to get the immune benefits you want. But then when we look at the woman's formula, you can guess we're going to have more strains that are going to be beneficial for vaginal health overall, right? We're complicated. We have a lot going on. So we need a lot of strains, right? We have different things that are also going to be related to our hormones. So there's a lot of strains that are going to help regulate hormones, regulate vaginal health, urinary tract health. So you'll see more strains for that. If we get to the weight formula, for example, this is a big seller for us.
And people don't think of weight formulas for probiotics. Like how does that tie into the weight management?
So what's interesting a lot is that your gut is really responsible for your sugar cravings. Your gut is responsible for wanting sugars or a balance of your blood, or an imbalance, I should say, of your blood sugar. So there are different strains in the weight formula that help appetite support, they help balance blood sugar, and they also help balance your mood. That is a big one when it comes to our weight, right? When our mood is off, maybe we stop eating or maybe we eat too much. In general, that can throw off our blood sugar. And so the weight formula is really nice to be able to kind of balance out, you know, those sugar cravings and your appetite as well.
The emotional eating.
Yeah, and the emotional eating, which is a huge reason why we do overeat as well. And so we have women's, we have the weight, we have an adult 50 plus, right? And when we think about 50 plus, a lot of things like urinary tract health are more of a concern. So we have more strains for there. We have colon, which is just what you're thinking, right? If I am constipated, if I don't have normal bowel movements, colon formula would be a great option to take to kind of create regularity. You know, and what's also nice about that is a lot of times when people have sort of either a constipation or don't have regularity, they go to a lot of herbs, which are good to take, but the body can become a little bit dependent on herbs when it comes to those contractions, where the probiotics are not going to have that effect. So this would be a great one to take daily as maintenance. And then if you do find yourself maybe feeling a little constipated, you could add a colon cleanse or another formula on top of it to kind of work on it in that moment.
So what if people wanted to switch formulas here and there? Is that okay to do that?
Totally fine.
Okay.
These are all strain related. So there's no like added ingredient for the weight or added ingredient necessarily for the women's. So if you're like, okay, I'm a woman who can't go to the bathroom and I want to deal with my weight, no problem. You can technically take all three. It's not going to be an issue. You could say, I'll do the weight today, the women's tomorrow, and the colon the next day. Or maybe I'm just struggling right now with my colon. I want to take that for 3 days. That is totally fine to do. You could stack them any way that you want. We also have one more I want to mention is the urgent care. Okay. The urgent care is a big one. In fact, it even says on the box that if you are taking an antibiotic, that you want to take that, it says to wait 2 hours. And then you would take your probiotic, right? And that's why it's that urgent care, right? It's going to help give you a lot more billions, a lot more CFUs. It's got 24 strains in it. And if you are taking, for example, an antibiotic, and like I said, it says it right on the box, you would take that antibiotic so it kills off the bad, but it does kill off the good bacteria as well. After you waited those 2 hours and it's kind of worked through the body, then you can take a probiotic to really recolonize, kind of get that good bacteria back in your gut. You know, because how many times do you take an antibiotic and then 5 days later you're like, okay, I think I'm fine, but maybe you have that like lingering cough or cold symptoms. It's because you've depleted your immune system in so many ways by killing off all that good bacteria. And then now you're sick for another month, right? And so it's like, we have to make sure that once we kill it off, that we replenish right away. So no matter which formula you are taking, it does state that on the box, but I would highly recommend the urgent care for somebody who's, whether they're on medications like that or not, but just wants an extra boost for their immune system.
Well, and I appreciate that it gives the directions on the box, because sometimes people ask us and we can't technically tell them when to take things around this. And so when in doubt, you can read the box and you have all the directions there and the answer for that matter. Right. So yeah, great formulas. I've used them myself. They're fantastic. Thank you, Nikita, for being
so
here
much.
and telling us about these. And we hope that you try one of these awesome formulas for any of your concerns, but a great brand to consider. And
come to Fruitful Yield to come get it. We'll be there. Well, maybe. We'll show up if we know you come.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.